All right, let's be honest for a second. You get a random 2 a.m. burst of energy of I'm going to change my entire life tomorrow. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. You're probably doing 20 pushes right now. Then you went on YouTube, on Google, and search how to reinvent myself, how to change for the better, and then he brought you here? Yes, I know your pattern. You've probably been whispered to yourself that tomorrow you're gonna take a cold plunge, wake up early, start reading more pages a day. But then you end up waking up at 11:47 a.m. You scroll on TikTok, you scroll through your friends' stories. You probably even go to the extent of watching your own stories from the day prior. And then you just say to yourself, I'll try again tomorrow. I'll try again next week to start fresh. I'll try again next year for my New Year's resolution. But that spark, even if it came from delusion, hope, or probably even insomnia, he brought you here. Let's be real. You're not here because of motivation or because you randomly feel inspired. You're here because something inside you feels tired. Not sleepy, tired. Tired of holding your life together with emotional duct tape. Tired of pretending that you're fine while you're quietly falling apart. Tired of fighting silent battles that no one asks about. Tired of trying to grow while your old patterns still know your current address. Tired of carrying responsibilities that you never really chose. But before anything else, I want you to feel understood. For real, not in a cliche way, not in a superficial, surface level way, where I can say, I feel where you come from. Because maybe you've lived a life that demanded strength long before you understood what strength was. Maybe you were the oldest sibling who became the third parent, responsible before you were ready. Maybe you were raising chaos, poverty, instability, or pure survival in childhood or what's in early childhood. Or maybe you have immigrant parents, translating way more than language, translating responsibility. Maybe you moved so much that you were never taught on how to stay, how to build relationships. You were only taught on how to leave. Maybe you grew up fatherless, with no family at all, or feeling like an orphan even while people were physically there with you. Maybe you've lived in a home full of yelling, pressure, silence, or emotional neglect, where love felt inconsistent and safety felt very unpredictable. Maybe nobody modeled emotional intelligence, only shut down stress and survival. Maybe you grew up with no financial literacy, learning money through mistakes, fear, or scarcity. Maybe you never heard, I'm proud of you, son, or I'm proud of you, daughter, and learn to work yourself to exhaustion just to feel like you were enough. Maybe affection was something you watch other kids get, not something that you were used to receiving. Maybe you always felt like the outsider, never fully belonging anywhere. Maybe your friends aren't growing, and you're terrified that changing your ways or leveling up means leaving your current friends behind. I just want to say, if even one of these feels like you, I see you, and this video was made just for you. Let's talk about the first 40%. What built you before you had a choice? Here's the honest truth. You are not starting from zero. You're starting from everything that you survived. Before you consciously shaped who you are, your environment shaped your wiring. Your early life, your childhood taught you how you handle conflict, how you communicate. And if your foundation was unstable, chaos, neglect, fatherlessness, or growing up without emotional safety, your nervous system never really learned peace. It learned protection. If you had to raise yourself, you master responsibility, not rest. If affection was rare, love became something you analyzed, not experienced. If emotions were punished, honestly felt dangerous. If you felt alone even when people were around you, you built independence out of survival, not confidence. None of this makes you broken. It makes you human. And it explains why reinvention feels very, very heavy. Understanding the foundation is how you build something new on top of it. Let's talk about the action steps. Breaking what you didn't choose. I want you to ask yourself, which beliefs were inherited, not chosen? Then I want you to remind yourself, this shaped me, but it doesn't define me. Just make a list out of that. Then create micro rebellions. Speak one truth a day, learn one money skill, set one boundary, or allow one healthy connection. You want to rebel against what you're naturally inclined to do, and small rebellions start to break generational patterns. The next 50%, this is the part that you control completely. This half is your territory where you stop performing the version of yourself your past conditioned you to be. This is where you stop betraying your future because your past just feels very familiar, where you stop shrinking so other people don't feel insecure. Let's talk about your circle real quick because you won't grow if the room around you doesn't allow it. If your growth threatens the people around you, you're not really betraying them. You're simply outgrowing them. You should fear missing out on your potential, your peace, your purpose, your healed identity, real alignment, opportunities waiting for you, countries to see, the version of yourself that you haven't met yet. The real FOMO is your future self wondering why you stayed the same. Now, the action steps to own your half. At first, I want you to audit your environment. Ask yourself truly who grows me, who drains me, who keeps me stuck, who reflects my trauma, who reflects my potential, who benefits when I do not evolve, who supports the new me, not just the old me. Then I want you to build three non negotiables, simple, grounding, repeatables. Move your body, learn something, and reflect daily. I want you to write this. The person I'm becoming behaves like this. Then choose three traits and then keep increasing this list as time goes. And I want you to act like that version before you feel like that version because identity will follow behavior. When you slip back into the old patterns, I don't want you to panic. Don't shame yourself. All you have to do is come back because the win isn't imperfection. The win isn't returning. And now the final 10%. Some pain wasn't really your choice. It was your environment, your timing, your circumstances. But here's the thing, even though this last 10% is what you couldn't control, it can really feel like 90% or a whole lot more. Because when you don't have the tools, the knowledge, and you're living in ignorance, not by choice, everything feels a whole lot bigger than it really is. And this is where the victim mindset will start to develop. Not because you're weak, but because life demanded strength that you weren't equipped for just yet. And a victim mindset doesn't mean that you're broken, it means that you're overwhelmed. But if you stay in it, your past will continue to become your future. To break the cage, I want you to start replacing your why me with what now. Then I want you to control one variable today. Not everything, just one. And I want you to choose consistency, not perfection, because perfection is fear disguised as ambition. Consistency is transformation disguised as small steps. So if you're reinventing yourself or holding your life together with shaking hands or fighting battles that no one knows about, I want you to listen closely. 40% of you was built way before you ever had a choice. 10% was the life that you never asked for. But that 50% in the middle, that's where your entire story can really flip. That's where cycles break, where generational patterns end, where emotional intelligence replaces survival mode, where discipline stops being punishment and starts becoming identity. That's where money stops being fear and becomes strategy. That's where you stop performing and start becoming. That 50% is the doorway to the version of yourself your younger self prayed you grow into. Your parents crossed oceans, your ancestors survived storms, your younger self endured pain that would have broken fully grown adults. All of that just to get you here, just to give you the chance to be the one who breaks the cycle. Not for the world, not for social media, not for validation, but for the person that you're becoming and the family you one day lead. So, start small, start messy, start scared, start when you don't feel ready, start when you're shaking. Because who you become starts right now.